Okay. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Same to
Happy
you.
Tuesday for you.
What another wonderful day to be together to exercise and get our bodies moving. I already know this camera is going to be up a little too high. That should be better. Okay. All right. So just quick little brief talk, and then we'll get started on our exercises for the day. Make sure you have a brief, nice clear space to exercise it, nothing to step on or trip over. You'll want a water bottle close by, as well as some sort of a weight, and whether that's a dumbbell or you can use your water bottle or a soup can, whatever you've got laying around, and a stretchy band. Okay. If you do have an oximeter, that's that oxygen reader. Also reads your heart rate. That's a helpful tool to use to track your recovery between exercises. Sturdy chair, nothing with wheels, and bare feet or sturdy shoes to limit any slipping. Okay. All right, let's remind ourselves about our breathing pattern. So if you just want to place a hand on your belly, we're going to breathe in, fill up our belly, and then breathing out through pursed lips. Okay, so breathe in, fill up the belly, and out through pursed lips. Good. Breathe in and out. In and out. And maintain that pattern. This time we're going to have our palms up to the ceiling. Pull our hands apart as we breathe in. And then bring them back in as we breathe out. Breathe in, pull the hands apart. Breathe out to bring the hands together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, so now we're going to get our little bit of flexion extension through that upper back. So I'm going to turn sideways here so you can better see. We're slightly leaning forward. We're going to breathe in and get our upper back, our shoulder blades, rounding up towards the ceiling, and then breathing out to a gentle arch. Everything here should not feel straining. It should feel quite gentle. So breathe in and round. Breathe out and arch. 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 Last one, breathe in and round. Breathe out and arch. All right. Good. So now we can just roll one shoulder back at a time. So rolling one shoulder back at a time. We're sticking with our breathing pattern as best we can. So we're still maintaining that steady inhale and exhale pattern. And as we get one shoulder going back at a time, you can start getting that elbow up. And we're going to start lifting and lowering our heels. So again, we're still thinking about breathing out through those pursed lips. Good. Let's get those shoulders moving back. Almost a little bit of a half backstroke. With those of you who have had some swim time before, that wasn't just the doggy paddle. Good. And shake out the hands. Now what we're going to do is we're still lifting and lowering the heels, but we're going to lean forward just a touch low. So you're going to almost like a bowling movement. Can you bowl and then back up? Bowl and back up. So focus more on the movement through the arm rather than don't try to get down too low. So we want to think about the position that our backs are in. We don't want a lot of flexion there, meaning we don't want a lot of forward bending through our back. Good. Well done, everybody. Maintain that breathing pattern. There we go. Who's rolled a strike? Anybody? Oh, good. There we go. Because next will be the victory celebration. Good. And last bowl here. Good. Okay. Now we're going to be lifting up our toes and balls of the feet, like you're tapping your feet to the beat of a music that only you can hear. So we're tapping. And now with our arms, we're pushing forwards and pulling back. Pushing forwards, pulling back. Good. So tap your feet. Push and pull your arms. Excellent job, everybody. The front of your shins should be getting just a touch tired or a lot tired. Good. We're maintaining that breathing pattern. Excellent work. And now reach across your body to touch across with the hand, like you're patting yourself on the back. And now your feet are going to step forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Good. We're maintaining that breathing pattern as best we can. There we go. Tap 1 foot forward at a time. Good. Couple more here, and we're still maintaining that breathing pattern. Remember to breathe out through pursed lips. 3, 2, 1, and we're going to change up our movement. So now what's going to happen is we're swinging our arms up and swinging your arms out. Swing your arms up, swing your arms out. So up, down, out, in. Up, down, out, in. Good. And if you'd like to increase the challenge here, we're going to get your feet marching. And just a quick reminder, this is your exercise class. You are in charge of how intense the class is. So remember, you wanted to make it challenging but doable for yourself. That's it. Up, down, out, in. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Shake out the hands. Roll the shoulders back. Good. Okay. So now we're going to start really trying to get our heart rates up, challenge our breathing a little bit. We're going to go, hard for a minute and then rest for 30 seconds. We'll do that a couple of times to get our cardio in for the day. Okay. So the first thing we'll do here is we're going to step our feet forward wide and back together. So think about creating this V shape with your feet. Okay. Almost a little bit of I think it's a type of Ukrainian dance, but the seated version. At the same time, we're going to be pumping those arms. All right, everybody ready? Let's go. And if you know the dance I'm referring to, I know I did not describe it correctly or identify it correctly. So you're welcome to let me know in the group. Good, so let's kind of step forwards, out wide, back together. Forwards, out wide, back together. And we're pumping those arms. Good work, everybody. Good. 3, 2, 1, and rest. So we've got 30 seconds of rest here. Remember, you can lean forward into your recovery position, either on your forearms or on your hands, using your thighs or a table in front of you. Just keep the chest up. This will help open up your airways. Okay, so nice work. We'll catch our breath for about 10 more seconds. If you need more time, please feel free to take it. Okay. All right, so what we'll do next here is we'll have our feet a little bit out in front of us and we're going to be pulling them back like we're trying to kick the underside of our chairs as we bend and straighten the elbows. Starting in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Good, make sure you keep breathing out through pursed lips. There we go. Nice job, team. Nice job. Bend and straighten those elbows. Bend and straighten those elbows. Excellent work. You're almost there. Three, 2, 1, and rest. Woo! Woo! It's a fun one today, everybody. Good. Really exhale through pursed lips. Remember, even if you're kind of panting harder, it can be that shorter. That's okay. And then you slowly get control of that breath and it gets a bit longer. But that mouth positioning, the reason we keep telling you pursed lips, pursed lips, pursed lips, is because of the way it helps splint open your airways to help you get more air out of your lungs. So there's more room for fresh air coming in. Okay, and that decreases your feelings of breathlessness. So that's why it's so, so helpful. The proper mouth shape and breath pattern there is so important, okay? So next for our cardio, we're gonna reach up and step out to the side. Step out to the side and reach up and step out to the side. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And if you need some more time, please feel free to take it. You gotta feel like you are recovered. And as always, remember, this is your exercise class. You're in charge of the intensity. So maybe moving your arm and leg at the same time is too much. Maybe you need to just move your legs, one leg at a time. Maybe you need to move just your arm, okay? Choose what is challenging but doable for you. Excellent. Got about 15 seconds left. So keep up your breathing pattern. Try to get your heart rate up. Try to get yourself breathing a bit harder. That's where the improvements come in. 3, 2, 1, rest. Now we need maybe that recovery position. Some of you do really well with some light movement to help you regain your breath. Okay. Great time for a sip of water. Agree. All right. We'll do 2 more cardio intervals. Okay, just 2 more. So the next one we'll do is we'll do our shadow boxing, something we haven't done together for a while. So you put up your dukes and we'll get right to it. And you're gonna give me your best shot. And you're gonna see how many punches can you throw in a minute. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Remember to punch with purpose. That's gonna get you more fired up than just moving your arm. So punch with purpose. You can punch right out in front of you. You can do a couple uppercuts. I know some of you like that.
Jab a little.
What's that?
Jab a little.
You can jab a little, punch, jab, jab, punch. Absolutely. You can even get the speed bag up top, right? Good. Maintain that breathing pattern.
Who's counting?
Well, we're past the halfway point. Not quite over yet. You've got about 10 more seconds. Good work, team. Punch, 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 punch. Do what you can here. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Good. Recover that breath. Got one last pattern ahead of us here. And the last cardio interval, you still got some time, but the last cardio interval is we're going to get bouncy. So that can look like 1 foot at a time. Goal is rather than marching where your foot is in contact with the ground for a long time, I want to see, can we not touch our foot to the ground for very long? Maybe you can bounce 2 feet. Okay, maybe you're just bouncing through the heels. Awesome. But we're starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. You can get bouncy. Want to get your arms moving? You can. You want to just bounce kind of 1 foot at a time. Good. Remember to stay strong through your core. So you want to stay up tall. There we go. Keep up your breathing pattern, everybody. Woo! Almost there. 10 more seconds. Keep up your breathing. Keep up your movement. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. So we're gonna have a bit longer of a recovery here before we move on to our strength exercises. Give the body time to fully recover. So now's a great time if you've got any questions about the exercises. I did notice we did get a couple chats, so I'll quickly check those. It's a great time for a sip of water. Yep, perfect. No problem. No problem at all. All right. Good, good. Good. Any questions about exercises today? While we are recovering and getting our breath back? Excellent. That either means you don't feel comfortable asking questions, or it means my instruction has been brilliant so far and there's no confusion. And that's always a little hit or miss.
I did like the way you explained why we're doing that purse lip thing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Try to give you guys those reminders often. We sometimes get newer people in and out of class, so I might not give that specific information to every class, but I always try to once in a while remind you of why exactly that pattern is so important. So that's good. I'm glad you picked up on that.
I have a question. What about breathing pattern with pulmonary fibrosis? Are you still saying in through the nose and out through the mouth?
So in through the nose, I tend to avoid that phrasing, just because I've worked with so many people that have different nasal structures that sometimes breathing through their nose at all is quite the nightmare. So really your breath in isn't as important in terms of mouth versus nose. The important piece is kind of what part of our lung are we targeting. So what that looks like, for example, is if everyone just kind of breathes through their upper chest, right? That's usually what happens when we start panting. It's a shallower breath, regardless of whether it's through our nose or mouth. But if we really focus on that belly breath piece, okay, that's where we get that fuller breath. And so when we look at the difference between kind of COPD and pulmonary fibrosis, fibrosis is more that stiffening of your lung tissue overall. So typically your inhale and exhale will be equally difficult, versus COPD tends to be more challenging on the exhale because you're breathing out against resistance. And that's just a generalization. The key part is if you feel like you struggle on the inhale, you want to make sure you're trying to inhale and fill up your belly, not just the shallow, right? And it can sometimes be helpful to think about if everyone puts their hands on their ribs, and as you inhale, think about pushing your hands away with your ribs. So just try a couple of those. Can you inhale and push your hands away? Even if it's just a little bit, can you get your hands to move? And I don't mean to say your hands will separate, but you can feel your hands move as you inhale, right? So inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, exhale. Can you guys feel that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really focusing on those lungs, or that rib cage opening up, because it's your rib cage opening up that allows your lungs to open up and fill up with air. And through various circumstances, whether you have a lung condition or not, the upper back and therefore the ribs, because the ribs attach to your upper spine, stiffen up, which means their mobility gets more challenging. They get more stiff. The tissue itself gets stiff. The muscles that help us do that get weaker. So those are all contributing factors And that's why exercise is so, so important, and kind of realizing, well, what part of my breath do I struggle on the most? And actually today we'll do another review of our box breathing at the end of class. And I'll again help us go through each stage of our box breathing and what that can kind of help you understand what part of your breathing pattern needs work. Okay, because sometimes it's different aspects.
What is the difference breathing through your nose or breathing through your mouth? To get more air, either one, or?
No, through nasal breathing, traditionally for everybody, so this is a generalized statement, nasal breathing is often better. Because one, it helps us take a deeper breath naturally. You don't have to think about it as much. And when we take a deeper breath, we tend to, well, taking that deeper, slower breath reduces our heart rate, our blood pressure, reduces our central nervous system activation. So there is benefits to it. Versus if you think of someone who is a kind of stereotypical mouth breather, it tends to be a lot of that shallow breathing. And if you are someone who's limited with your nasal breathing, I know some people, the structure of their sinus cavity and whatnot kind of prevent nasal breathing, or sometimes you feel like you can't get enough air. That's okay. Just means you have to be more diligent about your purposeful breathing, because with that mouth breath, it's a lot easier to fall into the habit of a shallow breath.
Joe,
Yeah.
the difference between mouth and nose breathing mainly is because through the nose, the air gets filtered and warmed.
That as well. Absolutely. Yep. Good reminder. So yeah, when you breathe in through your nose, all those hairs there help trap and more mucus, right? So mucus and hair working together to kind of trap those allergens. So you think of your dust particles, the pollen, and whatnot. So it's not getting deeper into your airways to contribute to inflammation that way. So it does help filter it, and because it's a longer, not a longer, slightly longer passageway, but also just the pathway it's taking, it does get a bit warmed up, more so than through your mouth as well.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so that was a good reminder on that aspect as well. And we can keep chatting about this as we start our strength work for the day. So what we're going to do today is, if you want to make it more challenging, you're going to hold your weight. And today we're going to stagger if you can. So you can either just do a normal sit to stand, or to make it more challenging, we're going to just bring one leg slightly back behind us. So I've just dropped that foot back. So most of the weight is on this leg here. I'm going to stand and then back down. Good. So remember, it's helpful to breathe out as we stand and sit back down. Good. So push through your feet, breathe out to help you stand up tall and powerful, and back down with control. Those are really good questions, guys. Well done. That's really important information to be going over frequently, so we all stay reminded on that. And really the key takeaway is be purposeful with your breathing. Can we get into the habit of just slowing our breath down and being purposeful with it? That mindfulness piece. Good. Remember, if you're staying seated, you can do a normal seated squat, feet together position, or you can try feet apart and just push your feet into the ground, right? A lot of different variation here today. Our goal is to sit down without plopping. We're going to do 2 more and then switch legs. Excellent. And again, staying seated, you can really just push your feet into the ground as if you're about to get out of your seat, and then relax should still feel those muscles working hard, okay? You should be sitting back down. We're gonna switch which foot is back, which foot is forward, and then once you feel ready, back up we go. Excellent. Great job, everybody. Good. Remember, it's helpful to breathe out as we come up. Back down with control. Also, to whoever originally asked the question about breathing with pulmonary fibrosis, please let me know if I at all misunderstood or missed part of the answer in my response to you, or if you got what you were, the information you were looking for. Great job, team. Woo! 2 more. 1 and 2 and rest. Awesome. You should still have your weight, hopefully, because we're going to use it next. That's where the fun really comes in. Okay, so with your weight, what we're going to do, if you can, is hold it in one hand. And we're going to bend our elbow and bring our elbow up so that the weight is almost resting on your shoulder. That's kind of the area it's in. And this is just going to depend on, can you bring your elbow up? Yes or no. But from here, can you keep your elbow up? Slowly straighten your arm. And then keeping the elbow up, bring the weight back down. Keep a tight grip on it. Careful not to whack yourself in the head, please. So it's slowly extending the arm and bringing the arm back while keeping that elbow up. So that's going to focus more on that tricep area. Press. Back down. Press. Back down. Got 6 more. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Rest. Switch hands. And pull that elbow up. Very well done. And straighten it. Back down. And once again, if there's ever an exercise we do that you are struggling with or it doesn't feel right for your body, please let me know. I've got a whole bundle of alternatives that you can be doing. I promise I don't have just a list of 15 exercises in my head. It's a little bit more extensive than that.
I can't get my right arm up, Jill, so what can I do alternate?
Yeah, so you've got 2 choices there, Miss Connie. You can go from here, just don't extend all the way out if you feel it in your shoulder.
Okay.
Or you can use your band to do this one.
Okay,
Okay, and I know you are familiar with that one.
yeah,
So felt like
my
that was
left arm's not a problem, my right one is.
sit tight getting up there.
Yeah, I've got a frozen shoulder, so.
Ah, okay. So then, yeah, be cautious with extending out in front of you then. If you feel it at all achy in the shoulder, switch to the band.
Okay,
And we're going to repeat these exercises. So remember that for our second set, okay?
Okay,
Because from here, we've only got 2 more. 2 and 1. Anyone else feel like they're at a concert? There we go. And put your weight to the side and grab a sip of water. Again, my dedication this December is drinking more water. Used to be really good and then fell back on it. We all know what that's like. All right, so next we're gonna grab our stretchy band. And we're gonna have our stretchy band underneath our feet. And if your band is not long enough for that, have it just underneath your thighs, because we're gonna wrap the band around. So I've looped it, I've crisscrossed it, and now my hands get to just rest on my thighs to help me hold the band in place. And your glutes should already be flinching a little bit at the memory of this exercise, because those glutes need to squeeze tight. And we're going to step a foot out to the side. Now, what's important is as we go to move one side, we need to stabilize the other side. So if my left leg is stepping out, my right leg is pushing down into the ground. And that's going to feel a whole lot more stable and more powerful to do this exercise. So again, one foot pushes down as the other steps out to the side. Push down to step out. Push down to step out. Good work, everybody. There we go. Excellent. One foot pushes down, the other steps out to the side. How are we feeling so far?
Or
Excellent. Just what I wanted.
mhm.
The right kind of sore, right?
Yep.
And Wayne, you be careful not to step too far out to the side, and that goes for anybody with any sciatica or low back flare up. So make sure you're not stepping sideways very far. That can make a flared up back a bit unhappy. So I should have said this sooner. It's more where you can just press the knees out, or you can just go a little more shallow. Good. 3, 2, 1, rest. Now the band is already under your feet. We might as well keep it there, or you can switch to your weights and we're going to do a bicep curl. So we're going to have both up and one's going down and up. So the other just stays and the other is going to work, and we're going to do 10. So we're doing 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Woo! All right. You can kind of shake out your arms, shake out your legs. Have a brief recovery here before we repeat those exercises. Any questions or comments so far?
When do we break for Christmas?
So this is session 4. Thursday is session 3. And next week we have our second and then our last one. So next week is the last week.
Okay.
And I don't have confirmation yet on when the classes are resuming in the new year. Last year it was, I think, February 23rd
Oh,
or something. I don't, does that sound about right from last year?
Not sure.
seems a long time.
Yeah, February
That's too
23rd.
much time.
2 months.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't do them with you last year, Jill, but I wrote them down on a piece of baseboard that I was supposed to put around the post, and I haven't done it yet. All your dates.
Nice. There you
Yeah.
go. Love it.
Yeah, February 23rd and then 28th. No, February 6th, actually, we had one.
Yeah, that would be right.
Yeah, February
Okay,
6th.
so it's beginning of February then.
Yeah.
That's
okay. We can go to Zoom. We can go to YouTube.
right.
That's right. We should all be doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, you sure can.
Oh.
All right, we've got 1 foot back. And we are pushing through our feet in a sit to stand. We're repeating. Remember, you can stay seated with the same foot positioning and push through your feet. You'll feel those muscles get fired up, ready to work. And we're going to have a great workout no matter what. Yeah, last year when we started up, I was about 4 weeks post knee surgery.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Good work, everybody.
It's in the middle of January.
What's that?
There was just a message from Maureen. She said middle of January.
Oh, brilliant. That's awesome.
Well, if I read it, I had to read real quick. So
When we're on our rest, I'll look at the chat.
yeah.
Yeah. And I'll make sure to read it all out to you guys. 2 more here, 2 more. Push. Back down. And last one. And back down. Awesome job, team. Woo. That's fantastic. So, we didn't switch legs actually.
No.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh darn.
No rest for the wicked today. Other leg forward, other leg back. We're pushing through. There we go. Good. Down with control. Try not to plop. I'd rather you do these a little bit slower rather than worry about the number that you're getting when we're working to build strength. Slower, more purposeful movement better helps us build that strength. Woo. There we go. And 1 more, just for good luck. And rest. Looks like someone's been trying to get it back into the class. I want to see if I can let them in. Okay, and we've got our weight, over it's bent, elbow up, and we're extending the arm. and slowly back down. So try to keep that elbow up. Good, elbow stays up. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And switch arms. Lift up that elbow and up.
And do it.
Yeah, so if you're struggling with this particular movement, that's okay. The alternative is to have the band over your shoulder and pulling the band down. It's important to listen to your body, and if your body just needs a rest in general from this exercise, make sure you take it. 3, 2, 1, rest. Good. Now we need our stretchy band. We're gonna put the stretchy band underneath our feet. We're gonna wrap our legs up.
Let's see it.
Good. The band is underneath our feet. Legs are wrapped up. And one foot pushes down as the other steps out to the side. And we're alternating. So push one foot down, step the other out to the side. Remember, if you've got a sore back, as it all feels tight, or like it's flaring it up, you can press just the knees out. You can do smaller steps, okay? It's really about pushing one foot down as the other steps out to the side. Great job, everybody. Go a couple more steps here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the band stays underneath your feet. One arm is half curled up and the other bicep curls for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. All right, team. Feel free to grab a sip of water. Just take a couple breaths, go into your recovery position. Let's see what Maureen had to say. Perfect. Yeah, so the classes are looking to resume around mid-January. Be on the lookout for an email from BC Lung sometime between late December, so that's after Christmas, and early January. Okay?
Good.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Okay. So it is time to stretch. let's start by lifting up that elbow and pressing it back. Good. And remember, stretch time is the perfect time for questions and to socialize. So have at her.
What about breathing out? Like that's carbon dioxide, right?
Yep, you're getting rid of carbon dioxide.
When you have difficulty getting rid of that.
When do you have difficulty getting rid of it?
I don't, but Rick does, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple, like, are you talking about feeling short of breath?
Yeah,
Yeah, switch. Yeah, so the kind of key factors for feeling short of breath are what we call the mechanical aspects of the actual breathing pattern. When you're not taking in that full breath, you can get a buildup of CO2, and you're not getting that full breath out. So even just volume wise, you can feel a bit breathless. But breathlessness can also be caused by inflammation. Maybe you're just coming off a cold, or you just got a cold, pollen season, when it was really smoky. You know, when you first turned on your furnaces for the year, there was some dust coming out there. Those are all things that can increase the inflammation and mucus production in your lungs, and make you feel a bit more short of breath. Rest there. Stretch your leg out, reach towards your toes. The cold air can make you feel more short of breath.
Yeah, it's a
very
big,
much.
So yeah, there are a couple different, and the reason I say that is because sometimes people feel like if you know, if they're short of breath, they need oxygen, but sometimes other things are more helpful. Sometimes that is the aspect you need, and sometimes other aspects, you know, maybe if it's coming from more the inflammation mucus side, you actually need one of your decongestants, or a lot of you have a medication in your emergency pack that helps you thin out the mucus so it's not so thick and sticky, and making sure you're hydrated to help thin it out more so it's easier to expel.
Okay.
I think most of you with a respiratory therapist or pulmonary specialist have at some point been taught how to clear your lungs, to help kind of guide gunk out, switch legs. So it's just
Ventolin,
important.
Ventolin really helps too.
Yeah,
That's that.
yeah, there you go.
That's the rescue inhaler.
Yes.
Yeah, I got those.
That one really helps.
Which one?
Ventolin.
Yeah, I have that.
Is that the blue cap?
yeah,
Yeah,
If you're doing something, just moving around and you're feeling out of breath, take a couple of puffs of Ventolin and it will relieve it.
Yeah, if you know that's what you need, the first thing I always get people to do just for 2 or 3 minutes is, okay, really dedicatedly get into your breathing pattern and see if that helps things. Because sometimes, you know, even not having a good sleep can make us less likely to do a proper breath.
Yeah. Does box
without
breathing
proper
help?
sleeping. Box breathing can help. If you're struggling a little bit inflammation wise, just your normal breath. So come out of that stretch, because I did tell you we would do box breathing. Box breathing doesn't always help if you're feeling short of breath and it's hard to catch your breath. Sometimes box breathing doesn't help because it's a bit too long. So there's 2 things you can do. One is just focus on your belly breath and find out whatever your number is. So I'm going to give you an example of a count. You will, not all of you will be able to do that same count, but then we're going to take 3 breaths where you try to find your own count. So one example is I'm going to inhale, breathe in, 2, 3, 4 seconds, and then exhale through pursed lips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's one example of a breath pattern. Again, not all of you can inhale or exhale for that length of time. So maybe it's a breathe in, 2, out, 2, 3, 4. Let's all take 3 breaths where you try to find what your counting pattern is. So everybody breathe in and count for yourselves. I won't count, so just inhale and exhale through pursed lips. And again, inhale. Exhale through pursed lips. Once more, inhale, rib cage expands. And slow, steady exhale. Good. Okay. So you need to figure out what your pattern is. And then box breathing is where we try to have an equal amount of time where we inhale and then we hold our breath with that inhale. We hold that inhale and then we exhale to empty lungs and then we hold that and then we inhale again. Typically it's 4 seconds. Try for 3 or 4 seconds. What we'll do together is 4 inhale, 2-second hold, 4 exhale, 2-second hold, and I'll draw it out as we go to help you give the visualization. So ready, we're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, relax. Good. And that holding with your lungs expanded and holding with your lungs empty, that also helps improve your capacities at either end, just in different ways. Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
All right.
Anxiety
So
too.
yeah, absolutely. And the reasoning for that is our slower, deeper belly breathing or purposeful breathing helps us lower our central nervous system activation. So an example of activated nervous system, if you've heard of your fight or flight, I want you to think about a time where you've been rushing to get out of the house. So you're, everything, oh my God, I remember to grab this, and you kind of always forget something if you're too frantic. Because you're so activated, you're a bit flustered and panicking around, heart rate's increased, blood pressure is up, breathing a little more rapidly because of those things, cognitively not fully with it because we're a bit so flustered and panicked around, not able to be purposeful with our thought. Well, when we go into a breathing pattern, we slow that down. We lower our heart rate, lower our blood pressure, think a bit more clearly. We're in that kind of rest recovery state. So that's kind of the difference there. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, fantastic work today, everybody. We didn't stretch as much there, but that breathing piece is so important, especially for all of you. I really encourage you to practice that every day.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jill.
Thanks, Jill.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maureen.
Of course. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Wonderful to
Thanks,
see you
Jill.
all.
Thank you.
See you
Yeah, thank
Thursday.
you.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Jill.
Bye.
Bye.